So what is RAN virtualization? RAN virtualization is the deployment of software-based network function on general purpose hardware rather than install proprietary appliances every time they need a new network function, service or application. So what we were doing it in the earlier approaches, that new network functions and new network elements were introduced, were implemented when we do a network rollout, and all the new hardware was implemented. But through network RAN, with RAN virtualization, we will be implementing network function virtualization through software based network. So software defined networks will implement that virtualization on a general purpose hardware. So we are basically splitting the software and the hardware, and both we are making a separate entity. So virtual radio access network enables the baseband function to be moved away from the cell site to a data center. So what we did, we basically moved baseband function to a data center and allow pooling of baseband resources across multiple sites. So basically what we did, we moved the baseband units to a particular centralized location so that their resources can be used in a better way. This enables intelligent scaling of computing resources as demand on capacity fluctuate while reducing cost. So here some site could have a more utilization at some time, other site could have a utilization of some other time, so they can basically use a pool resource of baseband units and coordinate, and those baseband units can coordinate in between them to basically reduce the problems which are occurring because of the capacity. So here we are also improving the cost. The vRAN architecture goes beyond the latest iteration of centralized CRAN by running virtualized baseband function on commodity server hardware based on the principle of network function virtualization. So what next after centralized RAN? We moved the baseband units to a central office. But now what we did, we moved those baseband unit functionality to a cloud, which is now implemented through a normal server hardware. And now this principle of network function virtualization means earlier we were using network elements which were physically present, like BSC, RNC or MME and all those, but now all these are like virtual. They can be implemented through normal commodity server hardware, and now they will be called as a network functions, not network elements. So it's all about network function virtualization. So vRAN is all about network function virtualization. Network element converted to network function, now they are being implemented virtually, not physically they are present, but they are virtually present, and the functionality can be brought up by the normal commodity server hardware. In normal conventional method, fixed hardware is coupled with software. So in normal convention, as we see that there was a fixed hardware with a particular software in it, and we could drive a particular thing from it, and we were taking a particular output from it. Here in the RAN virtualization, decoupling of hardware from the software is done to implement various type of services with different requirements. So as our requirement changes, what we did, we basically decoupled it. We decoupled the hardware from the software. Now any hardware and any software can be used and coupled together to basically give a service for different requirements. So virtual RAN consists of a baseband pool, vRAN control function, and service delivery optimization. So what three we have in virtual RAN? We have a baseband pool, as we were having, we need the baseband functionality. We have a vRAN control function who is controlling basically the functionality of overall vRAN. So what need to perform what, that is told by vRAN control function. Service delivery optimization is basically our requirement are like different for different applications. So service delivery optimization will ensure that what the end output is implemented should be optimized, process should be there, means optimized vRAN should be there. That will be ensured by service delivery optimization. Network nodes transform into network functions. So network nodes are now transformed into network function using inexpensive nodes and behaving as a dynamic control function as per the service requirements. Makes network architecture more agile and easy to evolve. As we have decoupled the hardware from the software, we can use any hardware and we can implement network functions out of it, and basically implement any application. So it will make the network architecture more agile and can easily evolve. So software can easily evolve on its own pace, and hardware can easily evolve on its own pace. Why RAN virtualization? Virtualized access Virtualized radio access network helps to basically boost capacity. As we know earlier, we basically removed all the baseband units which were present at the site. We moved them into the centralized office, or we moved them into the cloud. So basically now they are on the pool of the resources, so they can be better utilized. So capacity issues are now reducing. Dramatic reduce cost, as we are using the pool of resources. Obviously it will reduce cost. We are using common hardware, so it obviously removes the particular hardware for every network element, reduce the cost. Enhance customer experience. According to the customer requirements, vRAN is dynamic to fluctuate itself, and basically comes up with a new model to implement a particular application. So it will also enhance the customer experience. Deployment flexibility, it can be easily deployed because as both the hardware and the software are decoupled, they can be deployed. So network deployment, network rollout will not be a challenge. It can be done more easily because now we don't need every hardware to be present at the site. Dynamic scalability, scalability is now dynamic. It can give up different outputs on a different configurations. So nothing is static, nothing is standard. We can make things out of it according to our requirement. Service agility and time to market. Obviously the time to market will reduce because the deployment is easy, because most of the things will be implemented on the cloud or maybe a central office. We don't need to implement every network hardware on the remote radio sites.